Good day, sir. I'm Cadet Custodio Cyron, and I'm from NS1A4. And I'm reporting about power-driven vessel underway. So, me and my fellow cadet classmate are reporting about vessel restricted to maneuver, sailing vessel engaged in fishing, vessel not under command. So, I'm reporting about power-driven vessel. So, power-driven vessel in Rule 23. Vessel need to show their needs to afford mast headlight, a second mast headlight, and above and higher than that, forward, but if they less than 50 meters, they don't need to exhibit that second light, and they've got to show side lights and stern lights. So if take a look at this at a top-down view, the ship, of course, they're going to show that mast headlight forward, the second mast headlight, which is going to be aft and higher than that first one, side light and astern light. If you look at the side profile of the ship, of course, we're going to do by night, so we couldn't see it. So just overlay this with a black screen. We're going to see again that mast headlight forward, the second mast headlight are above and higher, and that side light. If we go back to the top-down view, we can see the angle that we are looking at the ship. For from here, you can see that you actually see that forward mast headlight, the second mast headlight, and the side light. The stern light is visible. But if we move the camera around to this kind of angle, then suddenly you can see the other light and none of the other. So of course at night we just like this would just be a single white light visible, because that single white light could be indicate a lot things, but this example is indicating the stern light of a power driven vessel. Paragraph B then goes to say on the air quotient vessel, which is like a hovercraft when they operating in the non-displacement mode. So when they are hovering, in addition to the light, we will look at they need to show all around flashing yellow light. As final, you need to remember, hovercraft will be showing a flashing yellow lights, otherwise they're power-driven. And then we go to look at the wing in a ground craft. Now you that are craft that fly in close proximity to the surface utilizing surface effect action. So where they're taking off and landing in a flight, so they're going to be traveling a great speed in this case, but there's also power-driven. So in addition to the normal power-driven vessel lights, they got to show all around fishing red light. Then paragraph D talk about power driven vessel of different size. So if you're less than 12 meters in length, instead of the light we've already talked about, you can exhibit all around lights and side lights. In reality, all that we done here is taking this light that are visible for a ship less than 50 meters, and we've combined that the mast headlights and the stern light into a single all around white lights. Next, a power all-around driven vessel consists 7 meters in length if you do not exceed 7 knots. Instead of light in the first paragraph that we first look at, you can exhibit all around white lights, and if possible side lights. If you're less than 7 meters, less than 7 knots, you may only be showing a single all around white lights. And then the final paragraph just goes on to describe on a bit of this positioning. So, and it says that mast headlight white lights in the power-driven vessel less than 12 meters in length may be displaced from the force and after center line. So it's that center line. So it's fitting of it. There's not practicable, but if it is displaced, the side lights need to be combined as a single lantern, and that needs to be carried on the force in the center line or close a particular ball in the same fore and after line as the line, mast headlight or all around white lights.
Hello sir, good day. I am Midshipman Guzman Arcie, NS1A4. Our topic today is a vessel restricted in her ability to maneuver. Means a vessel which from the nature of work is restricted in her ability to maneuver as required by these rules, and is therefore unable to keep out of the way of another vessels. Vessels restricted in their ability to maneuver includes but not limited to vessel engaged in laying lying, servicing, or picking up, and navigational marks, submarine, vessels engaged in dredging, surveying or underwater operation, vessels engaged in replenishment or transferring person, provisions, or cargo while underway, vessels engaged in launching or recovery or aircraft, vessels engaged in mine clearance operations, and vessels engaged in towing operations such severely restricts and towing the vessels and are found in their ability to deviate from their course.
Stern. A is the giveaway vessel. If any vessel approaching the sector, maintain with the equation your course of the speed. Starboard side. A is the stand-off vessel. If any vessel approach with this sector, keep out of this way. The rule may not always apply if one of both vessels are sailboat. Fourth side. A is the giveaway vessel. If a power-driven vessel with approaching within this sector, maintain with the caution your course and speed. The related bearing will be affected by changes of heading sighting. An approaching vessel against component of the ship's structure may give a truth indicator of whether there is the risk of collision and may provide sufficient basic for deciding whether to make a bold alteration to pass astern of the vessel being overtaken of crossing from the starboard side. Such a bearing, however, must away be related to the ship heading of may affected by sight changes in the observed position unless careful sunset are taken. Rule of avoiding collision. Avoiding collision involves frequently features proper lookout, use of radar is present, but more importantly, collision avoidance is made possible when both operators know how to deal with situation. Approximately, both is constant motion will meet quietly, therefore it's necessary to take early and subtle action to avoid collision.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, mates. This is Midge Puman Dela Peña reporting about vessel engaged in fishing, target vessel category, target relative bearing and direction, last target aspect. So let's move on. So the first one is vessel engaged in fishing. So what is vessel engaged in fishing? The term vessel engaged in fishing means any vessel fishing with nets, lines, trolls, or other fishing apparatus which restrict maneuverability but does not include the vessel fishing with trolling lines or other fishing apparatus which do not restrict manageability. So this is under Rule 26, fishing vessel. A vessel engaged in fishing, whether underway or at anchor, shall exhibit only the lights and the shapes prescribed in this rule. So target vessel category, it is the visible vessel that you can see in radar. So target relative bearing and direction. The target relative bearing is the bearing of the other ship that is relative or based on our ship movement and course. Relative direction is same as the relative bearing. So here's an example. True bearing, angle to the target relative to north, heading the direction in which a vessel is pointing relative to north, and the relative bearing, angle to a target relative to a ship heading clockwise. So lastly, we have target aspect. So target aspect angle is defined as the angle from the bearing line, that is an example, of the fighter to the nose of the target. So it can be simply defined as on ship bearing from target vessel fore and aft line. So that is the two example that I have here.
Good morning, sir, and good morning, classmate. I'm Midshipman Partosa for NS1A4. I demonstrate a vessel not under command. The term vessel not under command means a vessel which, through some exceptional circumstance, is unable to maneuver as required by this rule and is therefore unable to keep out of the way of another vessel. For example of vessel not under command is a vessel riding to uncure chains with anchor unshackled. A sailing vessel becalmed, a sailing affected in such an exceptional way by weather conditions that she is unable to keep out of the way of another vessel by alteration of course and or speed, thus justifying her showing or not under. Thank you and God bless.